a job lot of antiques auctioned off by a stately home and billed quite simply as a painting by an unknown artist close to Rubens. But the dealer who bought this painting claims it is in fact by the Old Master Van Dyck, and that Sothebys, who sold it, missed a trick. Our culture editor Matthew Kane has been exploring.
One of these paintings is a real Van Dyck. The other is a copy. Can you spot the difference? Yes. Philip Mould is an art dealer who's made his career out of doing just that. He once bought an unattributed Gainsborough on eBay for just £120. And hanging in his gallery is this, which he claims is his latest discovery. He bought it for £10,000 in a Sothebys auction of an attic clearance from Chatsworth House. It was attributed to an unknown artist in the circle of Rubens, but Philip Mould is now confidently attributing it to Van Dyck and claiming that it's worth much more than he paid for it.
Following the cleaning, rather like a sort of hatching insect, this thing came to the fore, and we found this painting here using exactly the same head. This is by Van Dyck, using exactly the same head as the sketch in Chatsworth. In other words, Van Dyck was doing a study, this is our belief, a study for a big composition.
But how do you know this is a study for a big composition and not a student copying that bigger piece?
Well, fair point, and the answer comes down to its quality and also a forensic examination of the surface. You just get your eye in, it's recognising the handwriting of a friend.
But Sothebys are adamant the painting isn't by Van Dyck. How did Sothebys make such a big mistake?
Well, we don't think we did make a mistake. We reviewed the picture very carefully before the sale, and when it became clear after the sale that a contention had been made that it might be by Van Dyck, we've spoken to all the leading specialists in this field. 6 out of 7 of them are confident that the picture isn't by Van Dyck.
Before the 20th century, records relating to paintings like this were rare or often didn't exist at all. At the same time, recent developments in technology and scholarship have led art experts to think again about who painted what. And because of this, the question of attribution is becoming much more fluid than you might expect.
Oh, extremely fluid. I've been in the business now for, since 1950, over 50 years, and how the ideas have changed is quite radical. I'm surprised things I accepted by certain great artists as Peter Bruegel. I'm thinking about, what the drawings are in the Corto collection here, and now people are rejecting them and saying they're not by Peter Bruegel at all.
While X-rays and ultraviolet imaging have increased the scope for identifying paintings, traditional techniques are still used by conservators like Rebecca Gregg.
So I am just using a solvent to dissolve and remove a layer of discoloured varnish.
Whichever techniques are used, attribution of a painting ultimately depends on consensus of leading experts. And without that, Philip Mould might struggle to sell the Chatsworth painting as a Van Dyck. But at least everyone's in agreement on these: Van Dyck's last self-portrait and a copy of it by one of his students. And in case you were wondering, the original is on the right.